Hello viewers, it's Super GT here. Welcome to some more Forza 6 online gameplay. I am in the V8 Supercars online Ghost League in the Pinnacle division. So off the line, I'm using the Mercedes number 4 AMG, whatever it's called, V8 Supercar, tuned up to 800 PI. So anyone in this lobby can tune their car up to 800 PI. In our AOR league, it's stock cars only. So there is a little bit of difference between this and the normal car. A little bit more powerful, a little bit better on the brakes. So it did take a little bit of adjusting to this different setup. And we're driving around Long Beach, the short version here. So I suppose in a way it is good practice for this week's AOR race, which is at Long Beach. In the long version though, so a little bit different here. Most of the corners are the same, a couple of different ones though. So in that AOR race, I am going to be starting in dead last position because I have a qualifying ban from Nürburgring. So it's going to be very interesting to see how many positions I can gain. I could not have chosen a worse circuit or a harder circuit to try and overtake as many people as possible, because it's obviously one of the thinnest circuits on the AOR calendar. So it's going to be very difficult, but looking forward to it very much. It's going to be a very interesting race, see how it pans out, especially on lap 1, because I feel as though I can gain quite a few positions on lap 1. Obviously I don't want to go as aggressive as I did at Nürburgring, but I would have thought there would be a few accidents on lap 1 around this kind of track, especially at the roundabout corner, which isn't in this version of the circuit. But that corner is so tight and it's only one wide maximum. Can go too wide, but on the entry it's only really a one wide corner, so it's going to be very interesting to see if 24 cars can filter into one line by the second corner, which it will be the second corner by the time we get there. So it's going to be very interesting to see. So of course tune in on Friday to see the result of that, see how many positions I can make up. But as we move back on to this race, it's quite a close race here. I'm in third. These two guys seem very quick. I have chosen more of a grip tune for this one. I think these guys have more of a speed tune, so obviously have a bit more speed down the two long straights, or medium-ish length straights, into the final hairpin. You've got to brake a lot earlier than you think. I'll go a little bit wide there, which means I have to wait to get onto the throttle. The guy in the lead there has actually got a decent gap now between myself and F1R Opara. I don't even know how to say it, but I apologise for saying that wrong. But I've raced this guy a couple of times before and he's actually very fast. So coming through here though, he actually got a bit wide and I've actually gone past him. So this corner here is quite tricky because you've got the bumps on the inside, but you can go over them without dirtying the lap to save a little bit of time. But obviously you've got to be very careful on the throttle while going over those bumps, so they can throw you off. That is a theme of the circuit though, the curbs are very important. And again there, and through this left-hander you've got these bumps on the inside. You can touch the red and white rumble strip, but you don't want to go beyond that, because you will, the curbs will make your car unsettled. It's just not worth doing, even for the better line. The only corner you can do that is the second corner, which I mentioned just now. So we move on to lap 5. It's still very close here between myself and second position. First place has got around the corner here already, so he's got about 1 or 2 seconds on us, so it's going to be unlikely that we can catch up with him unless he makes an error. So this is the corner you can cut slightly, and again look, don't have a dirty lap, so that is legitimate. You can do that, and that is not cheating at all. The game regards that as fair. So coming through into this is a tricky corner. You've got to get the brakes really nailed there. That's really important for that corner. And through this one you've got to keep it nice and narrow, which gives you a good line into here. You can go into first gear there, but I chose on this lap to keep it in second. The other guy's not had the best of exits there, so I've got a good 20 feet or so. That's not very much, but that's going to make it very interesting as we move on to the final lap. He's actually coming back at me there, so that's what I was saying about the speed tune. He didn't get a good exit there from the final hairpin, but he still comes back at me with his speed tune, so I should be a bit quicker around the corners. And he's actually got past me here as we go into this one, the 90-degree right again. He's hit the wall, I've hit the wall as well, so I haven't got a decent gap on him here. He's only 40 feet behind, so he can be either way here. He can go either way as we head into the final section. He's gone up the inside, he's touched the curb. Big mistake there. That's what I was saying earlier. You don't want to touch those curbs because they will throw your car right off. And if I can just take a decent corner here, I should have this wrapped up. Going a little bit deep on the exit, getting on the throttle nice and early, and he's dropped back a little bit there. So I'm going to claim a second position there. First place really fast in this one, so fair play to him for getting so far away. Now I'm going to go to a couple of bonus clips here. So I did this lobby for a couple of races, maybe about 6 or 7 races, and here was a very close finish. So I'm trying out the Volvo around Bernie's Alps. This guy has gone a little bit wide, coming through the S's. He's going to go very deep there, going to come back for a later apex. He's got a little bit sideways on the exit, so it's a run down to the finish. And as he changes gear, I gained it ever so slightly there, and is so close over the line. Barely 0.02 of a second between us on the line there. So move on to another clip. So this is Spa, and you wonder why some people are so quick in this game. Well, this guy, he just does this. He goes into the final chicane, just cuts it. He did that on all 3 laps, just cuts the corner. Still couldn't win the race. The guy in the lead actually didn't cheat at all, and that guy in second had to cheat there to stay in second, doing that on all 3 laps. So we're going to move to another clip here. Well, this isn't really a bonus clip. I'm going to show you the whole race. This one was quite interesting. So we're around the Prague short circuit. I'm in the Mercedes number 4 once again. Off the line we go in a 17-player race now, so quite a decent sized grid. You have to go very deep into turn 1. Some guys have gone in very early and collided with the apex. That's obviously not how you want to do it. And coming through into the chicane section, I go a little bit early to graze the wall. Luckily, it doesn't turn out to be much worse than a couple of seconds lost, or about a second loss. You can just go into the outside wall. You don't actually lose too much time by just smashing the outside wall, as I did there. This is what I love about these Ghost races. It's very close in the Pinnacle League sometimes between a lot of people. You can almost always have a very close race with someone else, and you just don't have that worry of getting rammed off, or getting smashed off by a mistake or something, which makes it very refreshing actually to do a Ghost League race. Quite a nice change. I go a little bit early into that corner. I'm still in 4th position as we head over the line onto lap 2 of 5. Going into the first turn, this one's very tricky to get right. You go flying in. I go quite late on the brakes, and you cut in for a very late apex. I don't quite meet the apex, but I can keep the momentum up. I'm going to turn in a little bit later for the chicane here, go in a little bit wider to give me a better line through there, better than I did on turn 1. This one I go a little bit too wide, graze the wall, and you can see there in the Pinnacle League you make a mistake like that and you're going to lose a couple of positions. So I've lost 3 positions there just from one little mistake. So it is very important in these races to be fast, but also to make the least amount of mistakes as possible. So once again, first place has got away ever so slightly here as the rest of us battle a little bit further back. I've gone a little bit too deep into this one, have to go over the curb once again, which just about unsettles the car, and you can see there these 2 guys get a better run on me as we head over the line once again onto lap 3. So and another guy comes back, so down into 7th momentarily there I think as we head into turn 1. I'll get a good line left actually, better than 2 of those guys, so I'm up to 5th. And once again going in a lot wider this time. That guy's not had the best entry. I've grazed the wall once again and through the very fast chicane there. Guy in 2nd place has spun wide, made contact with the wall, and he's quit the race, so obviously not happy with his mistake. So up into 3rd as it stands. First place is round that corner now, so he's developed a decent gap as it stands. He's coming into the tunnel. Going to try and adapt my line this time, so I've been taking it slightly wrong, a little bit slower, a bit longer on the brakes, and then I'm a bit narrower through the corner, which gives me a straighter line on the way out, so that's a lot quicker that time. Of course in these races it's all about speed really, just genuine speed around the circuit, and minimising mistakes as I said, but your overall speed is important. So if you're making a mistake, if you're not taking the right line or braking at the right time, you just got to adapt your You just got to adapt that essentially, and I've not adapted my line through there by making a collision with the wall, making another mistake. As we come onto the bridge, the guy in the lead has actually made a big mistake there, just like the other guy did on the lap before. So I've gone through into second, not really by outright speed, because I've been making mistakes as well, just not big mistakes like totally spinning around like first and second have done. First place has actually got about 2 seconds over me now. If I hadn't made my mistakes, I might have been up there with him. Adapting my line through the final chicane, a lot better through there as we head through onto the final lap. I think third place is about 200 or so feet behind, so only about a second or so, so I still have to pay attention here, make sure I don't make a mistake. In this kind of situation, it's kind of pointless pushing too much, because it doesn't look as though I'll be able to catch up with first place, not at this rate. You've just got to focus on not making mistakes, keeping third place behind you. Puts the pressure back on him if I take a couple of good corners, and he will have to start pushing very hard if he wants to catch up, unless he settles for third, which I've done for second. So coming through here, I go a little bit in too narrow, but I adapt my line to get a decent exit, and I actually pull away slightly on the exit there. I think he made a mistake through that corner. Go in a lot narrower this time, well actually a little bit wider than I did on the previous 2 laps, but still getting a straight line on the exit. We're going to claim a second position here, so not too bad given that there are a lot of very quick races in this lobby. So making a relatively low amount of mistakes compared to the rest. And that's going to wrap up this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the slightly longer video than normal. I hope you enjoyed the bonus clips as well. So let me know your thoughts on this, these leagues actually. This one was last week's league, but let me know your thoughts on the Formula E league, and the Sim Racing league as well is in there. So damage in that league, which makes it a lot more interesting, it adds another dimension to the racing when you have to consider that there is damage if you make a big collision. So that's going to be it for me. I hope you have enjoyed this one, guys. Subscribe if you want to see more, hit the like button if you did like this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, goodbye.